Are you serious? Are you serious? Okay, guys. Look, Jerusalem, the cup of trembling. All right. The burden of the word of the Lord for Israel. This is a cup of trembling. We have 2 Palestinians have been killed this morning in the anti-U.S. protest after the United Nations, of course, voted 128-9 to reject Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, and 35 other nations abstained, meaning the world was 176-7 against the United States and Israel. That is sad. If you count the United States and Israel, it's 176-9. What? Now, here's what happened. 2 people were killed in Israel. The scripture says in Zechariah 12, "Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about, when they shall be in the siege, both against Judah and against Jerusalem. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it." And that happened, folks. That happened. It just virtually the whole world. I'll share with you in just a moment who the 9 nations are, the United States and Israel plus the other 7 that stood with Israel on the city of Jerusalem. But first, let's go to the Crusader Journal. Barbegley reporting out of Reuters that Israeli troops shot dead at least 1 Palestinian today. A Gaza health official is saying, as reports and that protest intensified against Washington, D.C.'s recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital. A UN General Assembly resolution passed yesterday rejecting U.S. President Donald Trump's December 6th Jerusalem declaration, and did little to calm the Palestinian anger. Of course, it don't matter what you do. You're never going to calm the anger. You read the scriptures, it is a cup of trembling. And oh, by the way, the UN doesn't have authority to reject Donald Trump's proclamation and recognition of Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Israel says it's their capital. The United States acknowledges that. Now, if the rest of the world don't want to, that's their problem. But Israel is a sovereign nation. They can declare this their capital. And under even UN rules, all sovereign nations have a right to declare their capitals. So it's a useless vote here. It is not binding, it's non-binding, and it means nothing. Trump is acknowledging what is already established. The world just won't accept it. And of course, when the Muslims go to Friday prayers, they always come out of there as a peace-loving religion that they are, right? Fridays? No! They blow up, burn tires, throw petroleum cocktails, stab people, and it gets uglier by the minute. And that's what's happening again after Friday prayers. Instead of thousands of Palestinian protesters, many of them throwing rocks, confronted Israeli security forces along the Gaza border fence in all of the occupied West Bank 7 cities and in East Jerusalem. In Bethlehem, the traditional birthplace of Jesus Christ, smoke from burning tires billowed into the streets just 2 days before Christmas celebrations. Israeli gunfire killed two Palestinians in a confrontation in the southern Gaza Strip. A spokesman for the Palestinian Health Ministry said, putting the number of wounded at 40 today, half of them shot with live ammunition, and the rest of them shot with rubber bullets. Others, of course, overcome by gas, tear gas. In a statement, the Israeli military said some 2,000 Palestinians faced off against the Israeli troops at the Gaza border fence. It said the crowd threw stones and rolled burning tires at the Israeli soldiers, who responded with riot dispersal measures And they did fire live rounds selectively toward the main instigators. Protesters chanted, "Trump is a coward. Trump is a fool." Among the wounded was a man dressed as Santa Claus. What? Palestinian health officials said at least one Palestinian suffered a live bullet wound in the West Bank, and some 30 protesters were hit by rubber bullets. The military putting the number of demonstrators at about 1,700 people and the injured at 6, said troops faced firebombs, rocks, and burning tires. Protests have been held daily since Trump's announcement on Thursday, December 6th, and the United Nations General Assembly approved a resolution calling for the United States to drop recognition of Jerusalem, a city revered by Jews, Muslims, and Christians, as Israel's capital. But Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, in a Christmas message, called Trump's move an insult to millions of people worldwide, and also to the city of Bethlehem. Now, Israel considers Jerusalem its eternal and indivisible capital. Palestinians want the capital, an independent Palestinian state, to be in the city's eastern section, which Israel captured in 1967 in the Middle East War and annexed it in a move never was recognized internationally, except by some nations like the United States. Now, most countries regard the status of Jerusalem as a matter to be settled in an eventual Israeli-Palestinian peace agreement, although the process is stalled. 9 countries voted against the United Nations resolution. 35 countries abstained. 21 countries did not even cast a vote. And the ones that stood with Israel in this whole thing were Guatemala, Honduras, the Marshall Islands, Micronesia, Nauru, Palau, Togo, the United States of America, and Israel. Those 9 countries stayed together and voted yes, Jerusalem is recognized as the capital of Israel. 35 nations abstained, including Canada, and 21 did not vote at all, and 128 voted no. So 128-9, with 21 countries not voting and 35 countries abstaining to vote. So we'll wait and see what this all means. Obviously, it has no power. Israel declares that Jerusalem's its capital, so Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. And if only the 9 total nations in the world want to recognize that, so be it. But that is the way it is. Okay, we'll see how this all plays out. But if you're looking at this from a biblical prophecy standpoint, the pieces are coming together exactly like the Bible said they would. Exactly. It seems as if almost the whole world is coming against Israel. It is a cup of trembling, Jerusalem, a cup of trembling, a burdensome stone for all people. We're in Zechariah 12, but folks, it doesn't stop there. Eventually, there is an attack on the city of Jerusalem, and you can find that in Zechariah 14. But to be quite honest with you, the third temple will probably be built before Zechariah 14 attack, which not only is it an attack, it looks like half the city is going to fall. The women are ravished, the houses are rifled, and the Lord returns upon the Mount of Olives, and an earthquake splits the Mount of Olives in half. Okay, and it's a massive earthquake. But then in that same chapter, after that happens, then all the people of the world from every nation comes to Jerusalem to worship the King, the Messiah, the King of Kings. That would be Jesus Christ or Yeshua. And they will come to worship him where? In the temple, and keep the Feast of Tabernacles. All right. Now the temple's not built yet. So what's happening is we're in the burdensome stone right now. We're in the cup of trembling. We're in Zechariah 12, but we still got to have the temple built before Zechariah 14 comes. So that's right where we're at. We're in Zechariah 12, and the cup of trembling is the process we're in. All right. Wow. Don't miss today's live broadcast. Starts at 12 noon Eastern. My guest, Mike from around the world. We're going to be talking to Mike about Planet X and an update on the 5 waves of energy. Planet X, or the binary system, or Nibiru, or planet number 9, whatever you want to call. What is causing the gravitational pull? What's creating the 5 waves of energy? That's been recognized by NASA now. Also, we're going to talk about North Korea. Will there be war after the Winter Olympics? We're going to talk about the black hole that scientists say we will see in the year 2018. And we're going to talk about AI technology. Where are we going? And how far are we really? Can we get an inside information? Are you serious? Don't miss today's live broadcast. Starts at 12 noon Eastern. And we're going to bring Mike on as soon as we can get him on the phone. So it will be early in the program. Don't miss it. See you at 12 noon Eastern at my website, paulbegleyprophecy.com. Also right here on this YouTube channel and all the rest of the networks that we're on.